Part 6. Fishers of Men. A new way to cast your net in a tech-driven world. The changing sea. The next 100 years. The digital ocean keeps expanding. Artificial intelligence, automation, and virtual realities are shaping the tides of our civilization. Humanity stands at a crossroads where progress can either elevate or erase our moral compass. This episode paints the vast landscape ahead, a world where machines may think but cannot love, where data multiplies but wisdom shrinks. It invites viewers to pause and ask, in this new sea, who will guide the ship? This is the wake-up call, to remain human in a world racing toward the mechanical. 1. The digital apostle, casting nets beyond borders. Here, the focus shifts from fear to mission. The digital apostle is introduced, a modern messenger who uses technology not to dominate, but to heal, to clarify, to inspire. In a time when falsehood spreads faster than truth, the digital apostle becomes a fisher of souls online, through videos, blogs, podcasts, and quiet acts of goodness that ripple across the web. Your gadgets are your nets. Your words are your bait. Your faith is your compass. 2. The blueprint. A roadmap for a meaningful mission. Every mission needs direction. This episode unveils the roadmap, a simple yet profound framework that blends faith, planning, and digital presence. It teaches how to align purpose with technology and how to spread light without noise. Discipleship in the digital age begins with discipline, scheduling your time, curating your content, and knowing your why. The roadmap reminds us, evangelization is no longer limited to pulpits. It now includes pixels. 3. The parable of the jar. What's in your net? This story is a metaphor for priorities in life. A mother and her daughter watch as a jar is filled, first with big rocks, then smaller stones, then sand, and finally water. The mother smiles and says, "If I started with the sand, there would be no room for the big rocks." I have come across many people who struggle to break down the problems they face. They mix everything together, worries, tasks, emotions, until life becomes one tangled mass. When that happens, it becomes impossible to see what truly matters first. There is no order, no peace, and no direction. That is why I often remember my high school years in what was once a remote and isolated town. I was blessed to have a teacher whom I consider the cream of the crop. Despite his brilliance, he chose to spend his entire life there, teaching the youth with discipline and passion. He was a no-nonsense mentor who personally handled two of the most important subjects, algebra and trigonometry, and English. He was a master of diagramming complex sentences, and through his guidance, I learned to see problems not as a blur, but as parts that can be understood and solved step by step. Those years became my training ground, the foundation for what I now consider the art of systematic thinking. Later, when I pursued engineering in college, that same clarity and logic became even more essential. I learned that when the mind is organized, even the hardest problems become manageable, just like when the jar is filled in proper order. This is why the parable of the jar continues to speak deeply to me. It reminds us that life demands clarity, not clutter, order, not confusion. If we fill our days with sand, endless scrolling, noise, and trivial pursuits, there will be no room left for the big rocks: faith, family, truth, and love. You cannot fish with a tangled net, nor live with a cluttered soul. Empty the jar, untangle the net, and make space once again for what gives life its true meaning. 4. when success becomes a mirage. There are moments in life when everything seems to go our way. Blessings come one after another, doors open easily, and success feels endless. We start to believe that good times will last forever. We celebrate, we relax, we forget. But life has a strange way of waking us up. One day, without warning, something breaks. Boom, a crisis hits. The career we built collapses. The body that once felt strong grows weak. The people we thought would never leave do. And suddenly, we find ourselves staring at a blank wall, unsure where to go next. The truth is, when everything is going well, family, career, comfort, we rarely stop to prepare, either financially or spiritually. We forget that stability is fragile. We think we are secure, invincible, even untouchable. We start believing our own myth that we are the best and the brightest. But we are not. We are human, blessed, yes, but also breakable. Sometimes God allows the fall not to punish, but to remind, to bring us back to humility, to teach us that success without gratitude is just noise, and abundance without purpose is just emptiness in disguise. So when life feels too perfect, pause for a moment. Thank God. Reflect. Prepare your heart. Because real strength is not measured by how high we rise, but by how grounded we remain when everything is good. 5. The call to cast again. Sustaining the journey. Now the net is ready. But this is not the end. It is the beginning of a deeper voyage. If at some point in life you have been touched by kindness, lifted by faith, or guided through darkness, then you have a debt not to the past, but to the future. The call is clear. Honor the past or pay it forward. If you have benefited, then share. If you feel the calling, then act. Use what you've learned, your time, your story, your digital space, to pass on light where confusion reigns. The mission is not about numbers or fame. It's about souls reached, hearts stirred, and hope rekindled. Each time you speak truth into the noise, you cast your net once more. And when the online world grows colder or darker, remember, you are not alone. Somewhere out there, another heart is casting too. What you do, your effort, your message, your faith will never stand alone. Your voice will join the countless others who share the same belief, the same motivation, the same calling. And when all those ripples meet, boom, a wider reach, a brighter witness, a happier ending. So cast again, this time not for gain, but for grace. Not for the past, but to pay it forward.